Hi dancers, I'm Jojo from Adult Ballet Collective, and today I wanted to share with you how I sew a loop ribbon on my pointe shoes. Now I would definitely recommend for you to speak to your ballet teacher about how to sew your ribbons and what suits your feet. We all have different feet and ankles and we're all at different levels of pointe, so that all really depends. But for this method, I wouldn't recommend it for absolute beginners. When I was an absolute beginner on pointe, I used to have really thick elastic sewn crisscross to hold my foot in securely, and I used to use Block's Elastirib ribbon, which had the elastic that goes in the back of your ankle, and I found that was a really supportive way for me to start learning pointe. However, I personally love this method now, as I have been on pointe for over a year, just because it's very neat. There's no chance of your ribbon coming undone. So this is sewn with a stretch loop ribbon, and it's got the covert elastic there for extra security and holding it onto your feet. And I also sew it using dental floss, which I find is very, very secure, and there's less of a chance of it coming undone. It's also easier to sew with as it doesn't get all tangled up. So today I will be sewing a fresh new pair of my Block Graces. As mentioned, I will be using Block Stretch Elastic and the Covert Elastic ribbon. Now this is a thicker one. I believe you can get a thinner Covert Elastic ribbon as well. So let's get started. Firstly, you'll want to measure and trim the covert elastic to the appropriate length for your ankle. As you can see, I've already pre-cut mine. I like to put the placement of it fairly close to the back of the pointe shoe. Your elastic will need to be pretty snug and secure to hold your shoe in place. Okay, and then you grab your stretch elastic ribbon. As you can see, this is brand new, so it's fairly long. In terms of placement, I like to keep it fairly close to where I also put the elastic. I find that this is the best position for me because it hugs the top of my arch of my foot, and it also is quite flattering. So once you've got the correct placement, wrap the ribbon around your ankle twice. Now this will need to be fairly snug and pretty tight. You don't want it to be loose, or else it's not going to hold the shoe in place on your foot. So once you've got it wrapped around twice, find that placement again on the other side and just give it a bit of a test. Alright, so once you find the appropriate spot for that, hold your finger on it, grab your scissors and give it a snip. I also like to do a little bit of a test after I've snipped it, just to make sure that I've cut the appropriate length. Alright dancers, so let's get sewing. So firstly we're going to sew the covert elastic. To make this easier, I like to turn the back of my pointe shoe inside out so I can really see what I'm doing. And you just grab your needle and your dental floss, and you're basically using your dental floss just like normal thread. So thread it through the needle like so. Alright, and you just need to tie a knot at the end. So I just like to do a double knot just to make it extra secure. I also like to just trim the end of that dental floss off, just to make it really neat. And in terms of placement, here's where I put my covert elastic. It's fairly close to that back line of the pointe shoe. Alright, time to get sewing. Alright, now you've got your elastic all sewn on. This is where I like to place my stretch ribbons. As you can see, it is pretty much next to the elastic. I would definitely recommend for you to speak to your ballet teacher about where you should place your elastics and ribbons, just because it really depends on the shape of your foot. Alright, now that you've finished sewing, it's time to try your point shoes on. So put your toe pads on like normal, slip your point shoes on. Now the elastic that you've sewn should end up around your ankle and should be feeling pretty snug and secure. So you twist the stretch ribbon around, loop it around the box like so. There you go. Don't worry if it's a little bit twisted, because once you've pulled it up and over your heel, you can flatten it out and untwist it then. So you can just make it look pretty. I can already feel that it's pretty snug, so I'm feeling quite supported and secure in these point shoes. Alright, it's time for the next shoe. So toe pad on like so, and point shoe. Okay, remember how we did this? So you twist the stretch ribbon, loop it around the box, and pull it up. Perfect. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm really curious to know how you sew your point shoes and if you've tried this method. So please let me know, get in touch. We love chatting with you guys in the community. Thanks so much for watching again, and we'll see you soon. Bye!